Okay guys, like, I don't want to have to do this video. I don't want to have to bash on a series that I grew up with. But there seems to be a disconnect somewhere between good game design and the Pokemon series. Like, it earned its place in the media franchise, being the biggest media franchise in the world. It's earned that place. But these new games ain't it, and it ain't been it for a while. So let's get into it. Pokemon Violet and Scarlet are the mainline Pokemon games to tackle the open world concept. The concept is beautiful on paper. Make an open world you can explore and catch Pokemon in, then let the player run wild. However, in execution, the game messed this up. People have waited a long time for this one, yet it feels too soon for this game to be out, especially when you play it and see just how ass it runs. This game definitely could have used a lot more time in the oven. Like all games in this series, you begin in your room, and this is where we begin the critique. The opening section of this game is very slow. You walk downstairs and talk to your mom, then you talk to the director of your school who just happens to stop by, and they take you outside to select a Pokemon, except you have to walk all the fucking way to the beach to actually select them. And I mean walk. You can run when you are basically right on the spot you need to be. Then after a bunch of talking and the introduction of Nemona, I think that's her name, Nemona, your friendly rival, the game allows you to select a Pokemon. This is no kidding 15 minutes into the fucking game. Then after you select them, you still have to stick to the beaten path and battle Nemona. And follow her around till you meet the legendary Pokemon. You feed them a sandwich your mom gave you, and just like that, you are lifelong friends. Woohoo! After more repeating of the same fucking things you already know because the game drills it into your head like a screw to the head, you are able to catch Pokemon and battle them. You are then tasked with making your way to the school, and while you are doing this, you can take the opportunity to catch a ton of Pokemon and grind them up. This game has a neat new feature called auto battling, where you can send a Pokemon out to fight wild Pokemon on the field. This is a neat way to grind experience. Use this as much as possible. The battles themselves are slow and stuttery. It feels like the game is taking a piece of your soul every time the game slows down for an attack, or stutters and takes its time loading animations. It's very noticeable. After playing for a while, you end up at the school where they present you to the classroom and let you look around a small selection of rooms as if it's trying to simulate the feeling of a Persona game, only you are stuck with voiceless lines of dialogue that tell you a couple of important things, like about the Star Squad or whatever the fuck they are called, and the Titans. After about 5 hours talking to every faculty member and the director, you see that time flies by, and before you know it, you are done with the school, and finally, after several more useless cutscenes, you are finally given control of your legendary, and the world is yours to explore. Except if you just go wherever you want, you will be murdered by the difficulty. This game is not a particularly hard game, as long as you follow the proper order of gems, but that kind of defeats the purpose of open world, doesn't it? It would be much better if you could challenge them in any order and have their difficulty balanced off of how many badges you have or something along those lines. This part of the game's design feels rushed and lazy, like they didn't have time to balance the datasheet for the gems. First place you go is Cortando, and I swear to God this is the stupidest shit I've seen in years. You have to pass a test at battle in each gym, and that is a neat idea and could be cool, but you know what you're doing in this town? Pushing a fucking olive through a maze. Literally running into it and hoping the physics line up in a way to get it through to the end. Literally the worst task I've seen in a game in years. This is so bad and lame it should become a meme. It's laughable that the Pokemon Company thought this was an acceptable test. Enough with the pleasantries, and let's dive into the issues the game has. The game runs really poorly on the Switch. The game has an unsteady frame rate and pop-in that occurs everywhere. Low frame rate on background objects and characters happen even when you are standing right next to them. The game is just ugly. The Pokemon models are half-assed decent, but the textures and assets in the world are very low quality and reminiscent of the GameCube era. This would be an impressive piece of work if it were made on the GameCube, but here on the Switch, it is an ugly mess compared to its contemporaries. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Breath of the Wild, Shin Megami Tensei 5 all have better frame rates and way more appealing graphics. Voice work too, which this game still does not have. It's 2022, guys. Why the fuck don't we have a fully voiced acted Pokemon game? We have the anime. We have plenty of examples of what it would be like. Hell, voice acting would have made the very long-winded and boring sections of mashing through text much more interesting. What hurts even more is there are clearly sections that would lend themselves perfectly to voice acting, but instead we still have the biggest media franchise in the world too damn cheap to hire basic fucking voicing. The game can be fun in between the constant reminders of how broken the game actually is. There is a fun game and fun time to be had here, but in its current state, it is a terrifying mess. It needs to be cleaned up. I have doubts about their willingness to fix the game or optimize it, or how Monolith Soft is Nintendo owned, yet they weren't sent over to help with this game. Come on, they needed more time and experience working with the open world concepts and optimizations. If you are a diehard, then you will likely enjoy this game. But even the diehardest fans will feel and notice the bad performance. Hell, my 8-year-old daughter could tell it was buggy and sluggish. I think this game is a 6. There are way too many issues and the game is unpolished and unfinished, and undeserving of the Nintendo name. This one was definitely all on the Pokemon Company. Take your time, guys, and make a better game next time. I think I speak for a lot of us when I say I will gladly fucking wait 5 to 6 years for a good Pokemon game. Please like, comment, subscribe, /follow, and check that bell to be notified of new videos. You guys have been amazing and my channel is growing every day. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, stay nerdy.